Side. This is Bimal, and I would be the instructor for this program that's called Shell Scripting, right? So let me give very quick, uh, program. First of all, guys, we will the plan that I created for this particular training, right, will be in such a way that anything specific about the shell or the shell scripting from very zero to all the advanced, whatever things possible we are going to cover in this program, right? So this training would be from basic to the advanced, or whatever the way you can say, from A to Z of the shell scripting we are going to cover, right? And after this program complete, and the level of content that we are going to cover in this program, it would be marked as absolute or the 100%, right? Because what are the content I've seen in the market available in the tutorials and the books and other channels, right? I've seen most of the content, almost everywhere the content is not covering every aspects of the shell scripting, right? And so this will be one of the training, and one only the training I can say that cover everything about shell scripting with all the possible concept and the real use cases. So I'm going to cover lots of real use cases, okay, real world industry use cases. And even though I can say this training will be more on the real use case scenario or real use case perspective. So I will keep on explaining you the use cases, then I'll explain you the concepts of some particular part of the shell scripting, and then we directly go to the practicals and hands-on. So so this training would be a real use case oriented training, or real use case based training. Okay, rather than I start with variables and loop or conditions, like a very boring style of learning. Better would be I'll give you one use case, hey, that want to solve this, and for after explain you that particular use case, I will explain you that particular part of concept of the shell scripting, and then I'll show you how to do that practically. Okay, and this training would be 100%, almost 100% practical from the today's till the last day. I believe this training would be 16 hours in total, and 16 hours is enough to cover every aspect of the shell scripting, right? One of the unique thing is uh, the shell scripting. We are going to use a bash shell. So the program would be bash shell scripting, and we have the latest version of the bash shell that has a lots of new feature. This called bash version 4 or bash version 5. So I'm going to deliver this training on this latest version. They have come up with a very unique features, very unique properties, method they give us, right, or the modifiers they give us, and that will make our life so simple. And very simply means just by tapping some little bit code, we can achieve multiple things very quickly, right? So this training would be on the latest and the stable version 4 or 5. Almost some of the part are same. So that's what one part of this training. Okay, so that's all, guys. Nothing much. There's no prerequisite for this training. Yeah, basic knowledge of Linux is required, very basic knowledge. Okay, but by chance those who don't know anything about the Linux, right? So we will provide you some basic learning videos to you in your respective learning portal, where you guys can go and get something about Linux, right? But very basic knowledge of Linux is required, just like to run the date command or ls command. This level of knowledge, if you have, that is more than enough for this program. So technically, as such, there is no prerequisite. We can start the things from very zero to all the advanced, whatever possible in the shell scripting. Okay, and slowly, you will see a lot of advanced use cases we are going and start dealing in this training. Today is the first day. Okay, those who by chance know a lot about Linux, they know also a lot about shell. Okay, even though in some minutes you will see this, even though I'm covering the basics initially, because most of the guys over here are very new in the shell scripting. So I start from very basics, but in my basics also, you will see there's lots of things. Mostly, even though we are the advanced user of scripting, we might don't know about that concept. So don't think this is the first class, and don't think that I'm going to start the thing from way zero. That's what I'm doing. But even though I'm touching basic part, but every basic part also, every minute, every 5 minutes, the advanced user who knows scripting already, they also get a very unique facility and the feature that there's a possibility they might also have not aware about that level of concepts. Okay, so you can think this was, I create a program in this way because I believe in this program almost all the corporate guys from multiple companies, senior leaders, project managers, admin guys, architect guys, cloud guys, DevOps guys, everybody's there from almost all the company and almost from all the colleges participating here online. There's a very fantastic audience we have over here. So I create a program in such a way that we will cover everything about scripting. Plus, okay, in this progress of this program, everybody also enjoy. Okay, nobody feel that we are touching the advanced part. We're touching from very basic, but the advanced guy doesn't feel that okay, this is only basics is covering. That I have to take you everybody to advanced, but in my basics also a lot of very unique facility I'm going to cover over here. Okay, so per day basis is a 4-day classes, every day 4 hours. So I will open the Q&A or I will check your Q&A or the chat message between the break. So after 1.5 hour or 2 hour, we'll go for a quick break. But before the break, I will check the Q&A. So whatever the query you have, guys, that point in time you can put in your chat box, and I will try to address everyone query over here. So we'll open the Q&A twice. Okay, before the break and before every day we conclude our classes. So I will try, and my team also try to touch base and address all the query, whatever you guys are facing. But let me start the things. But Preeti already introduced me. Most of you guys have done some other training under me, but if you know about me, because knowing about the instructor always give a great confidence on the content. So my name is Vimal Daga. If you search my name, Vimal Daga, you will find lots of things about me, what exactly I'm doing, what of the visions we are working on as a Linux world, or me individual or my team. Okay, or maybe some of the technical things you will find in my LinkedIn. Okay, a lot of guys across the world, they say that I am the only profile in the LinkedIn that know maximum technology in the world. I have multiple world record also. All the top level certificate is there in my domain, in my portfolio, right? All the top level certificates I can say. Plus, I serve almost all the company in the world, all the top company in the world, from PwC to GE to Google to Facebook to IBM or Red Hat or Wells Fargo, whatever you guys talk about. I have worked with in one and other products or one another other technological area or the domain or the tool. Okay, so very quick information about me. Okay, so let's start with the shell scripting. Okay, so yeah, one more thing, guys, before I start, to save our time. Okay, I'm going to do my demo, my practical on the Linux system. Okay, you can choose any of the Linux operating system, but in my case, I'm going to use Red Hat Linux, or maybe let me use very generic because I'm going to launch my operating system, because obviously if you want to do a practicals or the demo, you need operating system. Now it is your choice. You can install the operating system in your laptop or in your virtual machine. You can work directly on the Docker container if you know about Dockers, or you can launch the Linux on the top of AWS cloud, any other cloud, wherever you feel like you can use or get your Linux operating system ready. Okay, so for doing our demo of the shell scripting, I'm going to launch first Linux operating system. Okay, and this operating system I'm going to launch on the top of AWS cloud. It will be your choice wherever you want to launch the Linux system, whichever the platform you guys are comfortable on. Okay, so I'm doing this thing very quickly here without wasting further time. And by the meantime they are launching, I will start explaining about what exactly the shell scripting, why we need shell scripting. Okay, even though the shell scripting is a very it's not a new thing, is there from last couple of decades, not the years, decades. Okay, it's still we need shell scripting a lot in the real world. Okay, even though nowadays we have a DevOps tool like Ansible, like Puppet, like Ceph, the Fabric, like SaltStack, even though, okay, these kind of advanced tools we have, but still we use shell scripting, or we need bash shell scripting or something like this. Why? That's what I'll explain you very quickly in a minute. But we'll do all the demo on the top of Linux. So I'm going to launch the Linux on the top of AWS Cloud. Okay, so I have the AWS Cloud account with me. You can choose whatever the platform you want to launch the OS. So already have the AWS account. And if you want to do the same demo with me, and if you don't have the AWS account and you want to configure your account, I'll just ask my team. They will share some extra video to you in your learning portal where I explain over the video that how to create the account of AWS, and after creating an account, how to launch the instances here in the EC2 services. Okay, so for extra learning, we will share to you, but there's not a part of this program, so I'm doing very quickly. And in my case, I am going to install a Linux operating system. You can use Ubuntu, Backtrack, Scientific Linux, Slackware, SUSE, Red Hat, Amazon Linux, right? Whichever the Linux flavor you want to use, you can use, even though you can work on Mac also. Okay, but I'm going to use Linux, and that's what I'm going to use Amazon Linux too. Okay, select, then nothing very special here. Configure, click next, click next. If you want to give the name, your choice. Let me give the Shell OS Linux. Just give some name if you want to give. Okay, and click next and next and next and launch. That's all. Nothing very technical. Okay, so this is the operating system. Okay, that has been launching in a minute. It will launch for us. So this operating system is the Linux operating system. All the demo from today to all the last day, I'm going to perform on the top of this Linux. Okay, but otherwise your choice. Okay, wherever you want to launch this OS and whichever the flavor of Linux you want to launch, that will be your choice. The demo and the package will be almost same wherever you go, whichever OS you will use. Okay, so that is one thing. So let's start with the topic called shell scripting from very zero. Okay, so what is shell scripting? So let me explain in this way. Okay, if you talk about any technological area, IT area, data center, IT domain, whichever the word you want to use here, right? So we have a servers, right? Servers means we have the operating system. Okay, or let me use the name called operating system. Let's say this operating system may be Linux. So we have some more operating system. Maybe this is also the Linux, or maybe let's say this is Windows operating system. Okay, but in our one company, in a one data center, we might have devices also, right? A router, for example. This is a router, and let's say this router belongs to a company called Cisco. This Cisco router. Okay, and we have some more devices. Let's say this may be firewalls or switches and IPS and IDS and load balancers and whatever would be from some XYZ company. So multiple devices, operating system, servers we have, and all the things guys normally work together in one company, one data center to establish the entire infrastructure, right? But as a IT guys or as IT admin of Linux admin or Windows admin or network admins or security admins, right? What normally we do, a normal activity we do is we will log into this OS, for example, and after login, we manage this OS. And normally for the management, right, we typically don't use graphical much. Instead, we are very much comfortable with the command lines or commands. So after logging to Linux, they give me some kind of black terminal, all right, black screen. That is, you guys know, is going on a CLI, command line interface, where some cursor is blinking and say what you want to do in this OS, how you want to manage me. When I say management, do you want to install the software, patch the system, upgrade the system, to want to do a backup, create a directory, create a file, put the data, search the data. That's called management here. Okay, so whatever you want to do, okay, this always give you some set of commands. Okay, you run the commands and that will be managed. For example, okay, if I go on my Windows and search for CMD, this is a black screen command. So Windows say, this is a black terminal or console. I'm blinking the cursor here. I'm asking you, I'm prompting you for the command, how you want to configure me. Let's say I want to create a directory. Let's say directory or PP. So I configured this side. Means I asked them, I want to create a directory, they will create for me. So this is what command, you guys know this. Okay. So every OS mostly, for every platform mostly, for every devices mostly, not mostly, always, it may be your router or modem also, small devices also like modem in your home, right? Everybody normally give you a way through which I can connect to their CLI by networking or by local connect or local console, whatever you say, and they give me command prompt where they have their own specific commands. Obviously, the command that I run in Windows, for example, in Windows, for checking the IP, we have ifconfig command. Sorry, ipconfig command, Windows. This command doesn't work in Linux and Mac, they have ifconfig. So everybody has their own commands to do some activity or to perform some activity, okay, own commands. But one thing that is common mostly in all the devices, okay, it may be Cisco routers, it may be Cisco switches, some other company firewalls, right? Maybe Linux operating system, maybe Mac operating system, okay? One thing that is not always, but mostly common in all the operating system and the devices, or maybe I can say in the appliances. Appliances means like a storage devices that are also known as appliances. So one thing that is very common or standard in the market is is okay, whenever you connect to their command prompt or the terminal, this kind of screen, okay, wherever this cursor is blinking, okay, where we type a command, okay, and I type this command, behind the scene, this command is being taken by some program, and the duty of this program is to take this command and run for me or run on my behalf. Let me do this spectral one more different way, not rather than Windows. Let me exit from here. My Linux system is already up, I believe. I click on this OS Linux running somewhere on the cloud, and let me connect to this OS with the connect button. There's multiple way to log in. I'm just logging in this way over here. Okay. And I'm going to connect with this option called instance connect. Directly we can connect to this OS or log into this OS. Otherwise, you can use your way to connect, whatever the way you know, the simplest way to connect. So I'm inside this OS. And right now, guys, this is the Linux OS running. Again, this is the black screen. There's a cursor is blinking here, one cursor over here. Whenever I type something, there's a command, like a date command. But behind the scene, there's somebody is there sitting. Their responsibility is, I am the human being right now. They take the command from me, okay, because I know what I'm looking for. I'm the IT admin or Linux admin. So I type my command here, and that somebody behind the scene who take my command and follow the instruction, what I'm going to do. For example, I'm going to ask to run the date command, they take my command and run for me. And the things, that program that is running behind the scene, who will do this commands for me, they're taking the command from me. Okay, who taking the command for me. So this program that is running behind the scene is known as shell. So this is some kind of shell program is running behind the scene. So you can think in this way, this is your operating system. We as a human being is here. Whatever I want to give my operating system a command by a command. Okay, between us, we have one interface. And this interface, they are running with a program called shell program. So we'll give this instruction to shell, and it's the duty of the shell to go to the OS and get this command, run this command and give me output back, or echo back, output back this output. That's what they give to me. Okay, as you know already, maybe most of the guys might know this thing, but the important thing is, okay, this is the Linux operating system. Okay, like this, if you go to Cisco routers and Mac OS, they have a different commands. Maybe they have a different thing. In Cisco router, to set up the protocols of routings and switches, we have a switching protocol like STP protocol, something like this. Okay, they have their own commands, but okay, their shell. Okay, most of the device appliances, they use a common shell, a standard shell. What I mean by this? Okay, for example, shell is, guys, is just a concept here. Shell is just a concept. Okay, it's just a concept. For example, operating system is just a concept. When I say I'm using operating system, you can ask me which operating system, Linux or Windows or Mac. Similarly, if you say I'm using shell, so you can say which shell program. There's multiple shell software available in the market. Which shell software you want to use? So there's a lot of shell is available in the market, or shell software available in the market. One example, the initial one, the top one, when I can say the first one is called SS. There's one shell called K shell, Con shell. There's one shell called C shell. There's one shell called Fish shell. There's one shell called TCS shell. Okay, there's a lot of shell software available in the market. Okay, but there's one shell software that is very standard, mostly used by everyone in the world, all the devices in the world, not 100%, but mostly used by everyone. Okay, it's called Bash shell. It's a software name, it's a program name. Okay, it is available in the Cisco router, it's available in some kind of storage device, available in Linux, all the Linux, as a standard one, Bash shell. Okay, and because it's standard, so the look and feel, the way we operate, way we work is very friendly. So if you work on Linux or if you work on Cisco router, both the cases, they have a Bash shell available. So if you are comfortable with the Linux, if you want to do maybe want to switch your career to networking, or you have to work sometime for the networking, same kind of shell you can have there. Again, understand one thing: shell is just an interface, right? Shell is not the one who giving the commands. Commands given by the OS. For example, in Windows, we have ifconfig command. It's not given by shell. In ipconfig command. In Linux, we have ifconfig command for checking the IP address. It's not given by shell. Shell is just the one who take the instruction and give the instruction to OS, and OS is the one who has the commands, and the shell will run the command for you and give you output back. Okay, so here my main motto is not to talk about the commands. That will we do, obviously, well, when we do our shell scripting, but my main motto is, okay, this experience, okay, is very much similar if you use any of the platform. Mostly all the platform has a capability to by default capability or standard capability to provide you the Bash shell, the standard shell. Okay, but this is not the only thing. But why we need a shell? This is what I would like to tell you in a minute. Okay, because right now this is the date command we are running. Shell give you a capability to automate something. Okay, for example, I'm running a date command here. Okay, this command is not come from shell. It's an OS command, your Linux OS command. It maybe this command might not run in the Windows. For example, there's Windows. In Windows, we have a different way. They have a different output gonna come out. Okay, so maybe, for example, I run the cal command. Windows not there, but cal command is there in the Linux. Every OS has their own commands, right? But the experience and the feature, all right, that you are comfortable in the Bash in Linux, same facility Windows provide you by chance. By default, Windows doesn't provide you, but most other servers provide you in the market. Cisco devices provide in the market is the same. And what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the experience that your shell give you extra capabilities. For example, I'm running the date command here. Okay, so I can right now this command is run properly, but there might some command they might fail. So I can write some kind of conditions here and tell my command prompt, that is also known as shell here. Okay, and tell my shell do one thing. can you please help me out? I'm running this command. If this command fail, then do this. Okay, if you run, then do this. So we can write some kind of conditions here. Just for example, I'm guys writing some command here as shell script. Don't worry, I'm going to explain this script in very detail. Just to give you the very quick information that, for example, I say I'm going to run a date command. If this command fail, then do something. If this command run, then say, okay, I am done. Just give me this message. I am successful. Or by chance, if the date command fail, then do one thing. I might have other alternative commands, other alternative backup tools, right? Right now here, I can just use a command called error just to print this message. Don't worry, guys. I will explain this every keyword over here, and that's all. Close it. Because this command runs successfully, output come and I am done command. But by chance, let's say I want to run a command called date1. This command is not actually available. Okay, so I say run this command. If command runs successfully, then say okay. If this command doesn't run successfully, else, then say error, or while error, after error, just I'm going to give you an alternate command as a date command to run. Pause. Sorry, I'm so sorry. See here, they can't fail, they said error, and then the actual date command. Okay, so point here is, okay, commands like date command or the cal command is given by your OS, but to controlling this command, okay, writing some logic on the top of this command. They run this command. If this command fail, then do this. Okay, run this command first. If this command runs successfully, okay, then run the second command, then third command, right? All this controlling, okay, is provided by your shell. So this is not OS command. Same syntax, whatever I write here, same keyword, whatever I write here in the shell, same keyword you can run in Cisco routers also. Okay, Juniper devices also, other storage appliances also, wherever they have the bash shell support. Okay, because if you want to, guys, don't worry about this code. I will explain every bit in a minute. And just very quick demo. I just want to show you actually what feature actually I'm talking about. This is a feature the shell provide. It's not by OS, it's provided by a shell. Right now I'm using the shell here. Which shell I'm using here? Just type anything randomly. They'll tell you I'm the best shell. Where I'm trying to run this command, I don't know, so I give error. So right now I'm using the best shell. Okay, there's a lot of shells available in the market. Also, there's the Linux OS also we can change. I'll show you how to change if you want. But by default shell I'm using is called bash. Okay, so point here is, okay, every OS, Cisco router has a way to set up the routing protocols. Switches has the way to set up switches related protocol or switches related VLANs and other things. They have their own OS command or device command or appliance command that their respective team know, they are aware about it. For controlling those commands, okay, we need a shell that gives that facility. Okay, facility. It's not only if maybe I have some command, I want to repeat this command again and again. So we have a loops, for loop, while loop. Okay, if you have multiple decisions to perform, when something happened, then do this, then this happened, then do this, multiple cases. So we can write switch in cases. Okay, or we have set of command to run always. So we can put on the function, we can create a functions and keep on calling this function. So set of command always run. For example, maybe you want to do a backup. So we have 10 different tens of lines of command to do backups, right? We put in the one function, we keep on calling this function wherever we need it. Or we can call this function the schedule. So the function will put in the schedule and scheduling tool will keep on doing the backup for us. Okay, the point here is, okay, every appliances OS has their own command, but giving this command a facility or a control or loop that normally your programming language do. Okay, and that's what we want. But I want a standard tool that is being available in all the platform by default. Okay, by default is available, and almost everyone support this. Almost everywhere, this is one kind of standard. Okay, maybe right now I'm working on Linux, and sometimes I want to switch to Cisco. I'm comfortable with this standard. Okay, and there the guys role of bash shell come in play. Every OS has their own shell. Okay, but every shell has a different syntax also. For example, if I go to K shell or con shell, okay, their syntax may be different. So when I say standard, means if I'm using if and then if I have to call close if with fi, I've explained this syntax to you. If I go to different shell, like fish shell, or like maybe TCSSL, right? They can do this thing for you, but they have a different syntax. I don't want. I want a syntax. I want a control. I want I want a programming specs on the top of my command. Okay, that is standardized. That support almost everywhere. Sorry. Okay, that what guys bash give you. Okay, even though if you search very quickly, if you search Cisco router, bash shell thing, right? So you will see guys in the Cisco router also they have a bash shell support. If you search Juniper, some storage devices, they give you this shell support. Okay, or even though guys, you maybe you can see they also, if you they give some programs. Okay, maybe get some scripting code. All right, you will see the syntax and the way we write the code very quickly. I'm just trying to check if I find some document here. The way we write the code is same. Command will be different, but the syntax for creating the code will be same. For example, by chance I have, let me stop sharing my screen for a while.